Hey, welcome everybody. Just doing a quick video here on some good notebooks that are great for fountain pens. I'm sure you can notice there that my handwriting is pretty bad, but that's okay. I like the hobby of collecting fountain pens, and obviously you want to get some notebooks that are really going to uh, you know, help you use the pens in the best way possible. So this is my notebook that I use daily. Um, that's the brand right there. If you can see it. I'm not quite sure how you say it. I call him Miquel Rius, but I'm pretty sure that's not how you say his last name. It's probably Rius or Ruse or something like that. But either way, his notebooks have been fantastic. There's a lot of different types, and they're all very work related, if that makes sense. Like they're great for doing schoolwork or any kind of writing. I like this with the little squares. I think it's great. They're light enough that you can write on them, and it doesn't really interfere with what you're writing. And you can get a variety of different colors and different sizes. So this one here is, I guess, regular notebook paper. So it's right around A4 size, something like that. And then you have this other notebook right here, which is a little bit smaller. Um, it's probably like a 6 by 9 or something in that range. And this one here is another style that they have. It's very similar to this one, but this one's a hardcover. But it's just this one is kind of like this material. Um, you can has a little texture to it, but it's kind of like that plasticky kind of cover, which is fine. I have no problem with that. They do have a lot of different colors. Most of them pretty simple. They do have others that are more for like journals and things like that would have maybe flowers and other things like that. But none of the designs really bother me. I like kind of like a cleaner look. Like this one here is just a generic black cover. This is kind of some of the information here, and those are all the different colors that you can get. This one is the 80 sheet one. There are some that have more sheets, less sheets, and some of them are also for multiple topics, so you can have multiple colors. And I think this one here, I'm trying to think, this one here is one of them. So if I open this one up, this one's the regular ruled, college ruled, I guess is what they call it, or close to that. And then this is purple, and then you can go over to this color here, and this color. So it makes it nice so you can kind of separate different subjects in school, or organize yourself a little bit better. So they make some really good notebooks. I believe these are. Let me go back to this again. These are 70 grams. If you can see right there, 70-gram paper. Could be mistaken, but I think all of their notebooks in this type of notebook that we're talking about here are all 70. Because this does seem like the same kind of paper, as well as this here seems like the same kind of paper as well. So I'm going to assume all these ones at least are all 70 grams, which is good. When you're writing with fountain pens, it is ink, and it will take a little bit to dry. Um, so you want something that's a little bit thicker than regular standard paper. If not, it's going to bleed, or it's going to smear, or it's just going to, make your handwriting look a lot thicker than it should be. Then I have this one here. A lot of people who are looking at fountain pen notebooks get recommended this brand, and rightfully so, just because they're very iconic, great logo, great design, and they just look really nice. So Rhodia is a very good brand as well. They make similar notebooks like this that go left to right. They have this type, and then they also have the regular flat top. And they're both of them perforated. I prefer this one just because you can spin it easily, and this one's mainly for me for taking notes. So I just wrote hello there. Difference between this one and this one, I don't know if you can tell in the video here, probably not too much. This one has a slight hint of purple almost, versus this one is a little bit more of that white. So when I kind of compare the two, I actually prefer the whiter look. But for note taking, that purplish hue doesn't bother me at all. It is nice, and I like this pattern. They do make other ones with kind of like the ruled notebook. things like that. So it's just my preference for note taking. This is great. I feel like I can fit a lot more in this kind of layout than just straight lines. This one here is just a generic notebook that I have. You can kind of see the handwriting here. I'm just going to go from that one to this one here. Yeah, I kind of wrote them a little bit different, but this one seemed to, because it's not 70 grams, I think this is only like a 40 gram or something like that. It just felt like a little bit wet as I was writing it, and you can see that the letters are they're a little bit bolder than on this other notebook over here. There's nothing wrong with regular notebooks. Obviously, if you have it, use it. You know, so I wouldn't just toss what you have to get something else. We'll flip it over. Even this one doesn't bleed too much, which is nice. Yeah, this one doesn't have anything because I think I took off the back paneling of this one. But yeah, this one's probably somewhere around 50 grams or something like that. This is just little flashcard kind of paper. So it is thicker than regular paper. So it does okay, but it's still kind of like the ink kind of seeps into it a little bit and makes the letters a little bolder. So one thing with the fountain pens is obviously if you're getting a nib that's fine or medium or bold or whatever it is, you want to be able to write and it to turn out that size. So if you get less expensive paper or paper that's really soft, it is going to thicken the lines that you're writing. So for some people that's not going to be fun, you know. If you get fine, you want to be able to write fine, you know, not write medium. This one here is another kind of notebook, which I really like. I haven't used this one too much, only because of the size. I ended up getting this one just because it's a little bit bigger, a little handier for day-to-day work. But these are really, really nice. This is a Claire Fontaine. I highly recommend them. Claire Fontaine, I think, pound for pound, if that makes sense, is probably a little bit more expensive than these notebooks here. They're a little bit, I think these are more for like journaling and just a little bit nicer quality instead of these ones are more like made for like notebooks, taking notes, you know, stuff for school, taking notes and stuff like that. This brand I would pick up probably a little bit better for something a little bit more serious for yourself, like journaling or other things like that, just because they're very well built, and they have like, you know, that little pocket and just really nice, and the handwriting and everything looks really nice and clean when you write on them. And all of these ones here are going to have a little bit of that smoothness to the page versus the softness that you would get on something else, which kind of lets you do two things. It lets you write a little bit neater because the nib tip is actually going to glide right on the paper, so it's going to take very little effort, and it's just going to write, and it's not going to like get blotchy or, you know, seep through the paper all that much, because they have that. So if I flip it over, I mean, you can see nothing, pretty much, almost nothing. I believe this is about 80 grams as well, in that range. And then there's Shinola, which this isn't my notebook, but it's also in this category. It's pink. I don't know why this is looking a little purplish. Probably the lighting in here. It's not the best right now. But either way, this is also a nice kind of like a nicer, a little bit more refined kind of notebook for journaling and things that are a little bit more important. The reason I would not get a book like this, even though I do have one or two, is because of this middle flap here. When you're writing with a fountain pen, any kind of lifting or anything like that, you kind of have to adjust to because it's gliding on the paper. It's not like you're pushing down and keeping the page really flat. So I don't like writing with a fountain pen with anything that has a gutter in the middle. But that's just me. I know other people don't mind it and they know how to do it, and it doesn't bother them at all. But just for my own personal style, I don't like that. I like something that's lays completely flat that I can work with that way. So as you can see, there's definitely some good stuff out here. There are definitely a lot of other notebooks out there that are very good as well. Rhodia is probably going to be the first one that you'll see when you do Google searches, and that's fine. It's a very popular brand. You can find it at a lot of nice, what do you call it, stationery type places, like the nicer ones that do carry a lot of book assortments. It's a really good one. Claire Fontaine is fantastic. And if you want something for everyday use, there's a ton of different options for you. Um, these guys are awesome. I really, really like his books. Um, as I said, there's different sizes, there's different types of paper, there's different colors. If you're going to be writing a lot, you might want to get more for your money. So something like this would be good, where it has like 4 or 5 different sections. Some of these do make things kind of like planners or schedulers, which is really nice. But the only thing I can say is all of these are going to be definitely going to cost a little bit more than getting just a generic notebook. So definitely, expect, I would say, at least a 20% increase in cost to get something like this level here versus just regular like good notebooks at Staples or something like that. But if you're a fountain pen kind of person and you're using these, definitely get the better paper. Definitely invest in getting something that you really like. Find the ideal notebook for yourself, and you'll probably never ever buy an expensive notebook for your daily writing. I mean, I'll still buy little notebooks for just little notes here and there and whatever. Sometimes they're easier to find. Sometimes you don't have to order them. Sometimes they have the right size or the right color or whatever. But I myself, outside of this notebook and a couple other ones, the only reason I use them is because I have not finished using them. I still have pages. I have completely converted to these kind of papers. It's just smoother. When you write, it's just very easy to write. I'm just going to take this off here, and I'll show you real quick. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but I'll try to just draw some quick lines. Hold on. So I'm going to do that. And it's just, I'm not like even really pressing that hard at all. Like, it's just, I mean, this is partially my pen too. This is a really good pen, and it's very, very smooth. But I don't know. It's really hard to describe until you actually go and try to write with one of these. Like, it's just super smooth. I like at work and other places, I let people borrow my pen really quickly and just say, hey, try to write on this paper, see what you think. And everybody is blown away at like what of a difference it makes. Makes your wrist not hurt as much. You're not applying as much pressure. And fountain pens, you don't apply much pressure anyways, but this actually just helps you glide. And I don't know. I mean, you find the paper that's right for you and stick to it. But I just wanted to show you guys like a few options. Like I said, all of these come in different types of paper. You don't have to get grids. You can get the lines. You can get the grids that go to the whole page, kind of like this, but in a bigger format. You can get the regular, rounded edge notebook type stuff. You can get more of a journal, like hardcover. There's a lot of varieties, but these are the brands that I recommend, and definitely give it a go. There's a ton of them on Amazon. Go to a high-end stationery location or a place that sells fountain pens, and they're probably going to tell you something similar, but definitely check it out. Thanks.